They convinced you that poverty is empty pockets. That lie kept you obedient. If you're still listening, understand this clearly. Real poverty starts the moment you believe you're beneath others. The world doesn't crush people with force. It trains them to kneel willingly. You were taught to wait, to be grateful, to stay quiet. You were told that ambition is dangerous and power is immoral. While you waited for permission, others took control without apology. Power doesn't feel sorry for you. It studies you. The moment you seek sympathy, you expose weakness. Sympathy is a signal that you can be managed. The ruthless understand this instinctively. They don't beg. They move silently. They don't complain. They calculate. And while you were hoping things would improve, they were positioning themselves to own outcomes. You were never poor because you lacked money. You were poor because your thinking was domesticated. Once your mind accepts limitation, your reality obeys. That's how control works. Not with chains, but with belief. Not by force, but by agreement. You can have nothing and still be dangerous. Because danger isn't money, it's mindset. The man who controls his emotions, time, and reactions controls everything else. Stop saying you're stuck. Say you're constructing. The world treats you how you see yourself. And this isn't motivation. This is exposure. Stay with me because the next shift will dismantle what you thought poverty really was. You weren't born small, you were trained to think that way. Before life ever limited you, your thoughts were taught obedience. Poverty begins as a quiet infection in the mind. It whispers that comfort is safety, that obedience is virtue, that wanting more is selfish. This belief spreads through your habits, your posture, your language, until you apologize for ambition. They call it humility. In reality, it's submission. A mind trained to obey doesn't need to be controlled, it controls itself. That's why the system rewards compliance and punishes defiance. Questioning is labeled arrogance. Authority fears curiosity because curiosity leads to autonomy. The greatest trick ever played was convincing powerless people that power itself is evil. Once you fear power, you'll never pursue it. Instead, you'll judge those who do and call it morality. Fear becomes your ruler. Comfort becomes your prison. Weak thoughts aren't harmless. They quietly erase potential. Every time you say, "I can't," you reinforce the program. Every time you envy instead of strategizing, you surrender authority. Power always starts with perception. See yourself as limited, and the world confirms it. That's why people with nothing can rise again and again, because their minds never accepted inferiority. Others win wealth and still lose control because they never removed the mental leash. Break the program. No one is coming to rescue you, and that realization is freedom. What comes next will show you how power actually operates when money isn't present. Power isn't truth. It's perception. Most people lose before conflict even begins because they reveal uncertainty through their presence. The world doesn't analyze your intentions. It reads your energy. Hesitation invites pressure. Emotion invites manipulation. Those who dominate understand something brutal. Appearing strong often matters more than being strong. Confidence, even when manufactured, reshapes reality. The world can't tell the difference between certainty and authority. It only reacts to what it sees. Weakness leaks through posture, tone, and reaction. A trembling voice confesses fear. Over-explaining exposes insecurity. The powerful don't reveal chaos, they conceal it. Calm becomes armor. Silence becomes leverage. When you remain composed in disorder, you disrupt others. Stillness unsettles people who rely on reaction. That discomfort creates respect. Respect creates space. Space creates control. You don't need wealth to command presence. You need restraint. Move slowly. Speak deliberately. Observe before engaging. When chaos erupts, delay your response. The person who controls tempo controls outcomes. Never look defeated even when rebuilding. That's not deception. That's strategy. While others attack appearances, you reconstruct foundations. People overestimate what they can't read. Use that. Let them assume depth. Let them hesitate. Underestimation destroys futures. Doubt protects them. This is psychological dominance, not aggression. And the next section will expose the most common trap that keeps people powerless even when opportunities appear. Most people aren't chasing success. They're chasing approval. That need quietly drains authority. The moment your self-worth depends on external validation, you surrender control. Approval is a leash disguised as comfort. When you explain yourself excessively, you reveal insecurity. When you seek to be understood, you invite judgment. The powerful don't clarify their intentions. They let ambiguity do the work. Silence forces interpretation. Interpretation creates unease. Unease creates respect. Weakness wants to be liked. Strength doesn't negotiate. Every unnecessary word is a confession. Every emotional display gives information away. Power thrives on restraint. The world values what it cannot decode. If you are predictable, you are manageable. Emotional transparency makes you manipulable. Mystery makes you dominant. Stop narrating your pain. Stop justifying your ambition. Let people misunderstand you. Confusion protects leverage. Those who cannot read you cannot control you. Attention feels like currency, but it's expensive. The poor trade dignity for recognition. The disciplined invest silence and gain authority. When you stop reacting, rooms change. Conversations shift. People listen differently. The truth is uncomfortable. Being respected often requires being disliked. Influence creates resistance. Approval creates dependency. Choose restraint over reassurance. Choose control over comfort. Because what comes next will show you how to carry authority even when you own nothing. Royalty begins in behavior, not possessions. The poor wait for abundance to feel valuable. The powerful act valuable long before abundance arrives. That behavior rewires how others treat them. Your time is currency. Guard it. Your presence is influence. Limit access. When you move deliberately, people assume purpose. When you remain calm, they assume control. Desperation leaks. Composure intimidates. Walk slower. Speak less. Observe more. Authority isn't loud. It's grounded. Kings don't rush because urgency signals dependence. They trust positioning. They let others reveal themselves through impatience. Control perception and you control narrative. You don't need luxury to command respect. You need discipline. Control your reactions, posture, and tone. These are assets no one can steal. The illusion of certainty often outweighs reality. People follow confidence even when it's unsupported. That's human nature. Master it. When you stop proving yourself, people start watching you. And what follows will explain why needing nothing makes you the most dangerous presence in any room. The moment you stop needing, you gain leverage. Society survives on dependency, emotional, financial, psychological. Detachment breaks that system. When you no longer chase approval, people pursue your attention. When you stop craving comfort, discomfort loses power over you. Detachment isn't coldness. It's control. Needing creates vulnerability. Indifference creates dominance. The calmest person in the room holds authority because unpredictability disrupts others. When you don't react, people project. When you don't explain, they guess. Guessing destabilizes them. Silence becomes pressure. Detach from outcomes. Obsession clouds judgment. Detachment sharpens it. You move strategically instead of emotionally. Those who can walk away from anything cannot be manipulated. And next, you'll learn how pain, when handled correctly, becomes your greatest weapon. Pain isn't punishment. It's instruction. Every betrayal reveals patterns. Every loss strips illusion. Pain delivers clarity without mercy. The weak drown in emotion. The strategic extract data. They observe instead of collapsing. Pain becomes refinement. Suffering teaches patience. Comfort dulls perception. Those who endure without breaking become unreadable, and therefore dangerous. Never waste pain by emotionalizing it. Study it. Catalog it. Turn wounds into boundaries and scars into strategy. The most dangerous person is calm while wounded. Unpredictable. Unshakable. Pressure forges leaders. And what follows will show you the foundation of all power, self-rule. If you cannot command yourself, someone else will quietly do it for you. Self-control is not discipline, it is dominance over impulse. Most people don't lose power because they lack intelligence. They lose it because emotion hijacks their behavior.
Enjeu expose intention.
Fear reveals weakness. Excitement leaks plans. Every uncontrolled reaction hands information to the observer. The powerful move slowly because speed is emotional. Slowness signals calculation. When you pause before speaking, others assume depth. When you resist immediate gratification, you build internal authority. This isn't self-help, it's survival in competitive environments. Notice who reacts first in any situation. That person is already losing ground. Control your facial expressions. Control your breathing. Control the urge to respond. The one who remains still while others are restless quietly ascends above them. Impulse makes you predictable. Predictability makes you exploitable. Discipline disrupts manipulation because manipulators rely on emotional triggers. When triggers fail, their power dissolves. This is why calm individuals intimidate without threats. Their restraint creates uncertainty. People fear what they cannot provoke. If you want real power, start here. Mastering the invisible battlefield inside your own mind. Because once you control yourself, controlling outcomes becomes inevitable, and what comes next will show you how silence multiplies that control. Silence is misunderstood because weak minds associate it with absence. In reality, silence is pressure. When you stop speaking, others start filling the gap. And in doing so, they expose themselves. Words leak motives. Silence gathers intelligence. Those who talk excessively feel the need to be seen. Those who remain silent are already being watched. Power listens. It doesn't announce itself. When you stay quiet, people project their assumptions onto you. They imagine strength, depth, or threat, often far greater than reality. Silence unsettles manipulators. They depend on emotional feedback to adjust their strategy. When you deny them reaction, they lose control of the interaction. Confusion replaces confidence. This doesn't mean withdrawal. It means selective expression. Speak only when it shifts the dynamic. Every word should carry weight. When your voice becomes rare, it becomes valuable. Observe conversations carefully. The loudest person is rarely the leader. Authority often sits back, allowing others to reveal hierarchy through behavior. The one who controls silence controls pace, and pace controls outcomes. Silence also protects you. You reveal less so others know less. And what they don't know, they can't exploit. Master silence, and rooms begin to change when you enter them. But silence alone is not enough. Next, you'll learn how perception itself becomes a weapon. Reality does not respond to truth, it responds to perception. People don't react to who you are. They react to who they believe you are. This is why confidence often outperforms competence, and why certainty bends outcomes even when it lacks evidence. Perception is shaped by behavior, not explanation. How you carry yourself, how you pause, how you react under pressure, these signals tell others how to treat you. If you appear unsure, the world applies pressure. If you appear grounded, it hesitates. Never underestimate the power of consistency. When your behavior aligns with authority long enough, people stop questioning it. They accept it, and acceptance becomes reality. This is why defending yourself is dangerous. Defense implies doubt. Power never argues its position, it occupies it. Let your actions speak repeatedly until they replace words. Control perception by controlling patterns. Be calm when chaos is expected. Be silent when emotion is demanded. Be slow when urgency is applied to rush you. Eventually, people adjust their behavior around you. They lower their voice. They choose words carefully. They hesitate before crossing lines. You didn't intimidate them, you trained them. Once perception is established, reality follows obediently. And in the next shift, you'll discover why defending yourself is one of the fastest ways to lose authority. The moment you defend yourself unnecessarily, you surrender ground. Defense suggests guilt, weakness, or insecurity, even when none exist. The powerful understand this instinctively. They don't explain themselves to those who haven't earned access. Most people rush to clear their name. In doing so, they legitimize the accusation. Silence, on the other hand, creates doubt about the accuser. Calm shifts suspicion away from you. Confidence does not chase validation. It assumes legitimacy. When you stop reacting to provocation, you force others to question their own position. This doesn't mean passivity. It means strategic restraint. Choose when to respond, not because you're pressured, but because it benefits you. Timing is leverage. Notice how leaders rarely justify every decision. Their authority is implied through consistency and composure. The more you explain, the less commanding you appear. Let results speak. Let presence speak. Let silence speak. Those who attempt to manipulate you will escalate when you don't react. That escalation exposes their intentions. You win without confrontation. When you stop defending, you start commanding. And next, you'll learn why restraint is the greatest threat to emotional manipulators. Manipulators survive on reaction. Without it, they collapse. They provoke to extract emotion. Emotion gives them leverage. When you deny that reaction, you starve their strategy. Restraint confuses those who rely on chaos. Calm behavior forces them to overplay their hand. They reveal desperation. They expose insecurity. You simply observe. This is emotional economy: spend nothing, gain everything. Your reactions are valuable currency. Stop giving them away freely. When someone tries to provoke you and fails, they feel powerless. Powerlessness makes people reckless. Recklessness makes mistakes visible. The strongest position in any interaction is neutrality. Not kindness. Not aggression. Neutrality. It denies emotional hooks. This is why disciplined individuals seem untouchable. They don't absorb chaos. They let it pass through without reaction. Restraint isn't weakness, it's insulation. And once you master this, the next level emerges. Controlling where your energy goes. Energy is the quiet currency that decides who leads and who follows. Most people waste it arguing, explaining, proving, and reacting. They bleed attention into places that give nothing back. The powerful do the opposite. They conserve, concentrate, and deploy energy only when it shifts the balance. Every interaction is an exchange. When you give attention freely, you lower your value. When your focus becomes selective, people feel the change immediately. Humans are wired to chase what feels scarce. The moment you stop engaging in unnecessary conflict, others begin adjusting their behavior around you. Withdrawing energy is not weakness, it is authority. Silence after provocation is dominance. Walking away without explanation is control. Choosing not to react forces others to sit with uncertainty, and uncertainty is uncomfortable. This is how influence grows without force. People start wondering why you don't chase approval, why you don't defend yourself, why you don't compete loudly. Curiosity replaces dismissal. Respect follows curiosity. Energy discipline also sharpens your perception. When you're not emotionally invested in every distraction, patterns become visible. Intentions reveal themselves. You begin to see who drains and who adds value. Control your energy, and you control access to yourself. And once access is controlled, power becomes effortless, which leads directly to the final transformation. You were never powerless, you were simply never trained. No one explained how authority actually works. You were taught to follow rules, not read people. You learned obedience before strategy. That wasn't accidental. A trained mind is predictable. An untrained one is controllable. Once awareness enters, everything shifts. You stop reacting automatically. You pause. You observe. You begin choosing responses instead of surrendering them. That pause is the birth of power. Confidence no longer comes from external validation. It grows from internal order. When your emotions are stable, chaos loses leverage over you. Pressure that breaks others sharpens your focus. You stop chasing opportunities and start attracting them. Not because you ask, but because your presence signals capability. People sense composure. They respect restraint. They trust consistency. This is the moment most people retreat, because growth feels lonely. Power separates you from crowds. It forces you to outgrow old habits, old conversations, old identities. Comfort resists evolution. But this separation is necessary. Authority cannot be crowded. It requires distance. You are no longer reacting to the world, you are positioning within it. Stop calling yourself broken. You were shaped by pressure, not destroyed by it. Every loss removed illusion. Every betrayal taught awareness. Every moment of restraint built internal authority. Nothing was wasted. Power is not loud. It is stable. It does not announce itself, it is felt. When you master your mind, external chaos becomes irrelevant. People sense when you are no longer desperate, no longer reactive, no longer seeking approval. That's when dynamics change. Conversations slow. Resistance increases. Respect becomes cautious. You didn't demand it, you earned it through discipline. Kings are not born in comfort. They are forged where others quit. While most collapse under pressure, you learned to remain composed. While others sought relief, you sought control. From this point forward, your silence carries weight. Your presence creates hesitation. Your restraint commands space. You no longer need to prove anything. You are no longer asking for power, you are embodying it. And once embodiment begins, nothing goes back to the way it was. This is not the end. This is the moment everything finally aligns.